Their one-item spike is incredibly strong. Double Triforce if you want to, the Sunder Sky even for the Wukong if you want to operate on that build. There is a ton of value that you can get in and around that mark, and if CFO aren't careful about their team fights, KT can snowball off of this single item.
That's what we're moving towards.
I mean, this Worlds has a lot of symmetry with 2017 Worlds. You know, you have T1.
Don't tell me that. That was a terrible.
It was because Arden Sensors, we see a Scuttlecraft fight. Peter putting the Unbreakable down, is going to get knocked up, almost falls, but dashes away. Ginger dashes in with the audacious charge, managed to pick up the kill, able to survive as well, but Dokdam dashing forward for it. Honkyu's going to have to flash the wall, but Cuz is on the chase. The Wukong finds the kill in the jungle, 2-1 KT. Skirmish, so does still have his flash, has his TP, but for the moment, KT in a really strong spot in this early game, about 1,000 gold ahead. First Drake at 6 minutes, stacking those up. And we talked about one-item spikes for KT. Having this small early game lead just accelerates you towards them even quicker.
This has gotten here so early, he's likely to just be able to sneak one grub away. And then honestly, as KT, you don't really care what happens after that. Sure, you'd like to get more, but you definitely don't have to.
He's going to smite it to get the first one. KT can look to see if they want to take the fight because of the push up towards that top side. They will force Junja back. Weaver's Wall coming out. Seismic Shove, Crescent Guard from Junja as he looks for the re-engage. Second grub secured there. It's CFO that get it. The fight continues as BDD looks for some damage from the side between worlds. Goes Honkyu, dives onto the backline, but the Cyclone already takes down one. Doggo so late to this battle. Cuz looking for that flash across the wall and dashes to the grubs. Call to the Forge God from Driver. Lands the knock up onto 2, but he's so low. Gets another double knock. Unbreakable is not enough to stop Driver, and Honkyu forcing another kill in. Dokdam starts to turn onto Doggo. Flashes across the Aqua Prism. BDD still so healthy. Honkyu trying to dissuade the enemy mid from getting on towards his backline. Cuz going in. Driver escapes. Doggo does 2. Kaiwing does 2, and somehow Honkyu gets his way away. Dokdam still looking for more. Honkyu dodges away, and in the end, a 1-for-1 exchange. And Honkyu as the Drake taken by Cuz. And CFO, I mean, it's spectator sport at the moment as the flash comes in with the Winter's Bite. Junja with a Crescent Guard, but look at the damage coming out from KT right now. They'll find 2, Junja force low. CFO trying to respond, but Doggo and Kaiwing are forced away.
The advantage, if no one's going to answer, they're just going to get the tower.
And I think that's where CFO needed to pull the trigger faster. Now it's Driver who might get caught.
A little bit, uses the Bella's Breath, gets the knock up onto the Braum. Aqua Prism coming across, Unbreakable down, Doggo Valkyrieing in as Driver's forced to flash away, and KT with a TP are going to have a 5v5 in a second. Tidal Wave out, Cuz looking that second Cyclone lands it. Doggo caught out first, the equalize on the backline. Nami has to flash away, BDD finds him with an unraveled Earth through. Hongju trying to get in to the backline to get damage on Peter. He'll find one, but he's burnt where he stand. Roast Rabbit for dinner for Perfect as KT once again come out on top in the fight.
Yeah, KT come out on top again. This time CFO tried to really punish Peter there, but as he got bubbled, he throws up the wall. Doggo Valks in, and they immediately turn to punish him.
Dragon.
Honkyu gets himself a little bit of gold. Now 4-3 on this Aurora. Has the Andrews and a needlessly large rod, but no ultimate right now as KT are going to fight around this Drake. It's a bit of a flank from BDD. The Weaver's Wall could split the team. Jinja looking for the poke. Driver going in. Bellows Breath popped. There's the poke from CFO landing a little bit more. Honkyu, though, gets the weirding onto Perfect. BDD on that flank position, coming in through the bot side. The knock back with the Blast Cone pushes Honkyu into the face of BDD. The Drake down to 1,000, secured by Jinja. Goes in with the Crescent Guard, heals up with the Sundered Sky, flashes away and somehow survives. Driver knocked back with the Seismic Shove. He'll pay for it with his life. The equalizer on the backline, though, is going to find another Peter looking for more with the Winter's Bite. And the stun on Honkyu allows Dokdam to get his second.
The ultimate cooldown was up ever so slightly faster for CFO, but as KT's tick down, CFO fall down with them.
Yeah, I mean, KT, I think, just slow played that so well because they were barely missing the ultimates from Perfect and Cuz. So they didn't want to hard commit to a fight prior to that. A great smite steal from Junja does save that from being a complete disaster.
Chase under the tower. Doggo falls first. The turret falling low. Dokdam was taken out by the tower with Doggo's assistance, but KT in the end do find the kill.
Sure, they're going to take Riptide off the back of this, and it looks like for CFO, they're going to try and overload this bottom side of the map. Perfect can probably just, yeah, I think the wave's gone, so it's just a nothing burger.
Too much of their damage to be able to actually knock down this Braum.
You also just don't have the range.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a Tidal Wave and a Call of the Forge God and an Unbreakable on the other side, which is going to eat up those very easily for KT.
Not easy, but definitely this is a team that will find them, but I think they're getting caught.
Man, this frontline Braum, I'm loving it. Glacial Fisher onto 2. The Oysters are falling as KT collapse. Driver stunned up, put another pearl on the necklace. KT as 2 more Oysters fall.
And Peter just blast cones himself in there. He's saying, we don't have a gauge. We don't have a gauge. Are you seeing this game? Peter is just flashing in on CD. And this time doesn't have the flash, but he has got no problems at all. My man knows his role. They are snowballing. He's just going to throw himself in your face. And if you don't respond, you're just going to get wiped.
This was the first time Peter got to fly to the country, and he was like, what if I do that in-game as well? That would be perfect.
Get some pressure in from Driver up towards this top side. Third Drake will go over to KT. CFO just trying to get every bit of gold they can in their pockets before the Baron spawn in 2 minutes' time.
We'll just get to blow the game open. You end up picking it up, you push in, and Doggo just able to get out of there.
Crypto comes down. As KT look for the push in mid, Weaver's wall being used as well, and CFO just forced away from defending their own objectives, their own towers. Honku looking for the weirding, won't find too much more out of it as Peter's able to retreat. The tier 2 falls for KT. Work your way through and on, especially as an Ezreal who, although he is at 3 items, doesn't have that huge crit chance, doesn't have a huge amount of damage as they find the pick here onto Peter. Tidal wave down, Peter's going to stand beside his teammate, but Honku puts him in his place. CFO find the pick. TP coming out from Perfect. Honku looking for a little bit more. Cyclone from Cuz just to try and distract and dissuade the engage from CFO, but a great knockback onto Ginger means that Cuz goes on a rampage. Driver now on the retreat with the rest of the Oysters, but KT are not letting them escape easily. Doggo onto top down! 80 for 80 and Honku adds another onto that receipt. It's 2 so far. Driver retreats. KT still looking for more as Cuz and BDD step forward, but do they have the damage? Do they have the gap closing to catch up with CFO? On Cuz so he can get onto that backline even easier. You've got a Seekers for Perfect. Their ability to delay a fight is absolutely massive. CFO pushing through the bot side to try and get a bit of priority to get into River.
And that's the risk. If you end up losing a fight here, there's already waves knocking on your inhibitor. But KT, they start with the Dragon.
Drake begun by KT. CFO walking into fog of war, and war it shall be. Equalizer on the backline. Driver stepping forward. Kemtate secured the soul for KT, but is the fight going in their favor? A great flame spitter from Perfect with that Seekers goes golden, but then goes pop. CFO find one. The dive in from Cards onto Driver. They'll get one in response. Ginger forced away. A weirding from Honku, but BDD's on the flank. As he looks for the damage, can't quite find it with that threaded volley. CFO being shepherded down towards this bottom side. Ginger looking for the engage. Doggo dived on, pops the barrier, but then it's put in the dirt. The dive as well from BDD. KT split the fight, find 5 in the end. 9.5k ahead when they secure this Baron. But CFO, you are walking wounded, you are limping. But perhaps you can find some sort of first aid to get you back in the game.
Into position where they can knock them down. Tower is falling now for KT, and it feels like that base is surely going to follow soon.
CFO, 5 players trying to defend this top lane at tier 3.
Maybe just drop the equalizer to force them off the tower and crack the base.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the play. Just try and force CFO back. They don't have the Weaver's Wall quite yet to sync up with it. Maybe they want to wait for the next wave, but like that's 30 seconds, and oh, here we go.
Diving from Ginger, flash call to the fourth drop from Driver, get the knock up! Oh, Driver, that was gorgeous, but on the back line! Perfect, and Cuz dive in with the Cyclone, they find 2 for it. CFO pulled the trigger, but KT's reaction was absolutely sublime. They'll wipe away CFO. Honku can only stand and watch as K2 push in for the win.
Blink and you'll miss it. KT jump onto the back line, and they immediately turn towards the Nexus.
Honku, he's hopping around, but there's not really much he can do in the face of 4 from KT. Cuz gives him a love tap as the Nexus falls, and KT go 1-0 up in this quarterfinal.
It's a great start here for KT. First win on the board. This does give them so much engage, so much scaling. It just feels like KT have drafted pretty much 4-5v5. They have a ton of wave clear in their soul lanes. They have a lot of options on where to go. Cuz can really attack any lane, it does feel like.
A little bit more cautious, especially with Peter walking his way up.
He's on the way. Can Honku avoid it? Peter, well, does he just want to invest the flash? He's so low!
Just gonna look for the flash hook underneath the tower, but it's not gonna be enough damage from Honku. Still able to flash away. Summoners exchanged between the Nort and the Azir.
Nice roam from Peter.
He uses the heal for him as well. Now BDD's gonna flash just to kill Kaiwing. Flash heal wasn't enough.
Moving over there though, I feel like this would be such a tough approach for the Trundle. I mean, Peter's already in position to try to jump on him.
Dogdam just hit 6 as well. Dredgeline in from Peter. Ginger here looking to see if he can find a pillar, but you don't really want to take this fight. You're at a disadvantage in terms of ultimates, and KT will just secure their first Drake again, around that 7-minute mark is what this guy can do.
And what a lovable player he is. I mean, this is his first time, flying. If you haven't watched some of his interviews, do yourself a favor, go watch some. He is just a treat.
Great hook again onto Ginger. Is going to put the subjugate down. Flash forward from Perfect. Death charge onto Honkyu as well. But Ginger already put in the dirt. The Troll King is down. Rest trying to collapse, but CFO forced away. Should be 3 grubs to KT. No smite for CFO. Doggo's moving across, but actually looks like KT are happy enough just taking the 2. They'll let this grub reset. Cuz can just wait around. It's like, okay, my smite's going to come back up in a couple of seconds' time. KT will get the 3rd.
Yeah, the longer CFO contest here, the more they're losing on that bottom side. That's a wave that's completely gone, and Junja has just had 0 chance to have an impact in this game. He's been completely shut down.
And that is a summoner down for the KT mid.
And something that could be exploitable. 45 seconds until the Dragon. You could end up looking for him, especially with someone like Kaiwing. But there we go!
Depth charge! They get the knock-up. The quickness comes out, but it's not in time. Peter claims the kill, calling Captain Hook.
80 has nothing.
And plates in mid lane because you had to shift the Azir down to that bottom side, which means BDD is opening up this game even further in his favor with that first item already completed. It is still KT winning.
And it's feats. For BDD being upgraded, they're going to set up around this red buff. Do CFO
Don't do it,
know?
Junja.
No. Oh, Junja. He starts up the red. There's the hook, and Junja in the jungle sent to an early grave. A 4th for KT. They ruled the rip.
Snowballing it out of control.
They've got death charge here.
Exactly. He's just going to go right down. He's going to get stopped. You just flag it.
Flag comes out. Peter will have another hook. He's just standing there. He's like, what are you going to do, Honkyu? Death charge down. They'll look for the engage. A Cataclysm alongside BDD. Enough. It's a shellacking for KT.
Junja by kicking out one of the legs, then go for the lanes because Junja's then behind, and it makes it so difficult for CFO to actually answer for any of these plays because they are always at a man disadvantage.
And who is it for KT that's getting fed out of this early game? It's BDD in that mid lane. 2K ahead has been involved in every single kill. The synergy between him and Peter through this game, through this world, has been absolutely top notch. This guy is popping off, and for so long I think people will have looked at BDD as one of the greats, but not quite. Perhaps at this Worlds, he can really take that step to the upper echelons. Yeah,
the only man on this team who's been to that semi-final, hoping to take the rest of them there, and the organization for the first time, but it's Rest who needs to get out of here.
Exhausted there for a second. Spell Shield coming out from Dogdam, and Tofo Q3 going wide, but it's just going to be another tower for KT. They know they can force Rest away, take the turret, their 2nd of the game, and CFO have been able to stop the perfect game from happening by taking a tower of their own. But apart from that, KT very much
highlighted the wave clear. It's a Rift Herald now as well. So you were already losing on the map. Now you doubly lose on the map, but Perfect might lose this.
Pillar coming out. There's a Killer Instinct as well with the quickness, everything invested. Perfect falls the shutdown to Doggo. A pick for CFO and a small breath of life into this game.
Imperfect. Not going to be able to get away with that one.
That vision on the bottom side. So now it's KT who are able to answer back because of that reset.
It's the same setup again. Rest is on his way across on the hunt, popped by Dogdam as they look for the chase. Depth charge onto Honkyu, Emperor's Divide, dodged by the Cataclysm. Honkyu not in the redemption in time. CFO lose their mid laner and now might lose the rest as they get chased down by KT. Junja on the flank, a 4v4 begins to erupt. It's Perfect, not TPing down yet. The redemption for KT will top them up, and in the end they just back away.
CFO are asking why are KT better, and it's just cause the hop over the Emperor's Divide sets up beautifully, and now with the dragon there for them as well. That's 3 dragons to their name.
I mean, that was beautiful from Cuz. Walks in and he's basically daring you to dash away, right? He's holding the Cataclysm, he's holding the Flag and Drag, he's ready to punish at a moment's notice. Perfect reaction time there to immune that Azir ultimate. They win out in the 4v4. Perfect doesn't have to even bother teleporting.
Continue to impress on an international stage.
Yeah, I mean, some of the teams that weren't giving them respect have already been sent home. Peter's looking for another play.
Depth charge down onto Junja. The pillar does not really going to stop anyone getting in, but a good quickness out from Kaiwing distracts the rest of KT. Kaiwing trying to dash back, but he's taken out by Dogdam. 1 down so far. KT can advance. Oh, a great hook again! Peter, what are you? He constantly finds the picks, and now CFO picked apart by this perfect Nautilus. Perfect diving in for a Ruthless Predator. The Rift-Held charge coming down. Will they look for a tier 3? Cuz begins to disengage, but they'll just get the charge in, and then Peter should be able to dredgeline his way away.
And they can even go right back to the Otacon that's about to spawn here if they really want to put that pressure on. They're going to take away the jungle camps. They get the charge on another tower. It's 6k up, and yeah, they're just going to do Otacon on spawn again, because why not? Honku has no teleport, and he's still dead.
He goes for it again. Rest steps in front of the bullet for Doggo. They're not back onto Peter, though. Now slammed into the wall, and the rest of KT unable to respond in time. Doggo diving onto the backline, and Killer Instinct flashes the barrier. Doggo gets the shutdown. Cuz perfect, and BDD still alive. Not much mana on BDD, though. They'll still be able to kill off Kaiwing. Honku and Ginger need to do it all. But Honku doesn't have the damage, only an Ashes and a faded Ashes at his back. KT back away.
Duckdown falling. I mean, just look at the mid-jungle advantage. It's ridiculous.
4.9k between the two. The Otacon has been begun by KT. CFO still looking for it. They have the Emperor's Divide if they can find a way into this fight, but Honku goes in, BDD pops a stopwatch, Otacon secured, Kaiwing with a good quickness finds 2 with a knock-up, but CFO now need to disengage. All their engage tools have been used. Cuz diving onto that backline. Cuz taken out by Doggo. Perfect looking for it as well. But this dog who let him out, Perfect, shows him where the cage is at. Puts him back to the fountain. Only Honku left alive. As Perfect, BDD, Knockdown, and Peter collapsed. It's an ace for KT.
There's nowhere to run. There is nowhere to hide. KT are taking everything.
Almost an infinity edge for Knockdown. Doggo the only one really with 2 items that matter for CFO as they try and step into the darkness, into that fog of war. The dragon resets, Rest using his health bar to try and gain purchase in the river right now, but KT keeping them at arm's length. Rest still stepping forward. The Drake how low, 7k. Kaiwing flashes for BDD, lands the quickness and the grand entrance, but with a flash away from BDD, Perfect dives in, and the chase goes in from Cuz. Cataclysm onto the backline, the Emperor's Divide from Honku. Everyone from KT falling below half HP, but then now with the redemption, they are topped up to full. For a moment, CFO looked like they may have found the fight, but the wallets are too damn heavy. KT find a 5-0 ace and will walk it down mid.
Yeah, CFO posed the question, but BDD had the answer as he has every single time this game. 100% KP for BDD, 6-0 and 15 on the Orianna as they're looking for one of the fastest games at Worlds.
Sub 25 minute, the prize for them. This roller coaster keeps on ratcheting up. KT in dominant fashion are gonna make it 2-0. The scoreline looks at BDD, but the hearts were won by Peter. KT 1 game away from the promised land. Be misremembering, but I remember it was about the initial poke into then the Viego coming out. But I could be misremembering it as we see the first Zoe at Worlds this year. For KT, they have the initial burst damage, and then they have the Viego looking for those resets. An exchange of summoners.
That is heartbreaking for CFO. Junja not able to make it happen, and honestly, lucky they managed to escape afterward. Rest doing a good job of blocking the Paddle Star from being able to connect onto the jungler.
Yeah, did a really good job to be able to block that up, but that is heartbreaking. Jinja.
Is there a numbers disadvantage right now?
But you still have that TP on Dokdam, who's just gone for the reset as well, so potentially going to TP up to this fight. This is risky for a CFO.
Sleep onto Honku. BDD doesn't have a huge amount of mana. Grub's begun again by Cars. The flash! Headbutt pulverize! Oh, Peter, take a medal, take a prize, impaled under the tower. But he takes the enemy mid laner down with him. Rest trying to come in from the side. He's going to get slept as well. A perfect nap for KT to collapse as Dokdam takes the kill. Kaiwing chased out, make it 3. KT secure the feats of warfare.
Everywhere on the map, and now they're going to move over towards their prize of these boy grubs.
And again, it's one of these situations where they have the extra member, they get the feats of warfare, and Honku's just caught snoozing. He is taken down from long range. He was shopping.
They say don't meet your idols. And Honku really wishing he hadn't done this one. Threaten now and use these walls at things like the dragon, which have just spawned. And the first items are coming through very quickly for KT.
Yeah, it is really looking tough already as Kaiwing gonna get spotted and Peter's looking.
The sleep again. Honku's gonna have nightmares. Collapse from KT and BDD claims his second.
Lead for the Rek'Sai at this point, it's just a nothing burger. And then down in the bot side, you have this Ziggs that was picked as an answer to this Caitlyn, and it has been just excelling throughout the entire game.
And we've talked about it so often for CFO. If Junja and Hongkyu can be on the same page, they can do work, but KD have shut them down perfectly. Dogdam flashes away, the headshot's not enough! The Peacemaker doesn't find its mark. Junja flashes finally! Finds the shutdown. Kaz now on the back foot. Ults away with that Heartbreaker. A magical journey for Junja onto Peter, but a double blast cone will get them to safety. As Junja might try and collapse on BDD. Ishtar's impact in, catches Peter, slams him into the wall. The rest of CFO trying to collapse, but there's the trample stun, a good impale through the wall. Kaz able to flash away, asleep onto that Skarner. Paddlestar just short of connecting. Spiraling despair on BDD, Peter falling low. Hongkyu finds the kill, BDD still dashing forward with the portal, jumps in the end. CFO will back away with 2.
That takes really quick reactions.
And Herald no longer the target for either of these two teams as KT set up vision around the Drake. Will be soul point for them, and an Infernal Soul with Ziggs and Zoe is not something you want to give over easily. Already down to 4K. Peter acting as a bouncer. Rest trying to get in. Junja going forward as well, but a good pulverize from Peter. The Drake stopped with a Tempered Fate. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble not going to hit on Doggo. The smite from Junja finds it and Impale as well. Spiraling despair for KT is perfect. Forced to flash away. CFO find the fight, find 2. Rest dives onto the backline, gets a double knock. Junja still looking for the chase. And Satchel charge out into the flash. Edge of Ishtar won't go any further with that Ishtar's impact. An ace in the hole won't be enough, but Rest still on the chase onto BDD. Forces him back underneath his tower.
KT's poke is exceptional.
Look at Rest.
No poke lands, and Rest want to keep this going.
He slept. Satchel Charge's going to knock him back. Decimating Smash there as well. Rest used the tunnel. He flashes back in, and Rest just slices them where they stand. He'll pay for it with his life. In the end, CFO turn their eyes towards the Herald.
Exactly. They're going to be able to use that pressure to go over towards the Herald. I mean, this is the other side of this style of composition. It is so oppressive when all your poke is hitting.
The game did go to their jungler and to their top laner. Rek'Sai can do a lot of damage. Titanic Hydra complete. Tunneler as well, building up to more of those physical damage items, but it's not as much as you would like.
But for me, it's less about the gold, it's about the map control.
Sure.
Because that's really what CFO need.
This Viego really needs that first reset.
Yeah.
And there's not any like point and click. You're not paired with a Syndra, an Annie, an Ahri, anything like that. So it's just everything does your poke land.
Oh my god! Oh my god, the Mega Inferno Bomb of Doom, and Junja overstepping Peter with a great double pulverize onto the backline, and everything hits this time. Rest tries to dive in, but is put to sleep, and all he'll see are nightmares of KT. A triple in the end for Dogdam, another sleep landing, and the chase comes out from Perfect and from Dogdam! Hongkyu is not done yet. Kaz will chase him down. A Heartbreaker, a stake through the heart of CFO as KT win out the fight.
It's a taster of what CFO could have, but it's KT who are once again cooking CFO over an open pit. The amount of gold and nourishment they're getting out of this roster is insane right now.
And with him gone already, BDD, he's looking like he's got an aimbot. He's just point and click.
Peter caught with a Tempered Fate. And that cow might be going golden, but he is going to get skewered by CFO. The Otacon next. TP's coming out as CFO try to up the tempo. TP out from Perfect as well as KT are going to call for a fight of their own.
You've got to wait for BDD. This wall could be devastating, but he's so far away. The ultimates are flying, but Otacon is going down.
Hongkyu already down to half HP. Perfect with the Decimating Smash doesn't land it. The Otacon should be secured here for CFO. They get it. The sleep lands, but only onto Rest. Will KT continue to chase, or will they accept that this fight is not for them?
Allow KT to get set up. KT's comp is so weak when they're late to the fight.
And this is the scrappiness we were talking about for CFO. They don't want to give up the area. Dragon's there.
Oh, the damage onto Hongkyu, spiraling despair though, into the net! And down goes BDD. Kaz on the backline gets the reset. He possesses that way, and the chase continues. Dives across the wall. Spectral Maw doesn't get the stun. Junja trying to retreat. Dogdam looking for that satchel. Another stun's going to land. And Rest has the flank. Dogger's there as well. Junja falls. And now the Skarner taken away by Kaz. Rest trying to get in, locked against the wall. And Kaiwing and Doggo leave him for the KT Wolves. They'll get the kills. They'll clean it out. And will they turn their eyes towards the Drake? They'll do that and take mid.
CFO tried to salvage the play with Doggo and Rest running as fast as they could. But it's KT KT, who are pouncing on Junja and finding the kills they need to turn the play back.
I mean, it feels like it was just 2 or 3 minutes ago that we were talking about Cuz being down 1.3 gold. He got 7 kills in a row, and now is up nearly 2K on this Viego. He is a problem. Such a problem. We talk about the lack of consistent damage. Doesn't feel like they have that anymore.
Honkyu's
The timing!
just making a smash against the knockup. They don't kill the tower. Mega Inferno will go down as well as Honkyu takes a drive to his demise, and now KT can look for more. BDD with a paddle star doesn't quite clip Junja. CFO back away.
Down.
And it was unnecessary. You didn't need to take that ride. Honkyu thought maybe he could get it, but
But likewise, if CFO are there first and you're trying to walk through a way, you're trying to walk through this trap line, the poke is never going to come. So it's all about who can get that setup, who can control vision. And right now it's been KT with the pushing waves, and it's them getting the much easier setup.
BDD pushing in this top side.
First ever World Semifinals. BDD the only player on the team to ever make World Semis, and they're looking for a pick on Rest.
Just trying to tunnel away, but Peter uses the minion line to try and get himself towards it. There's the knockup, there's the trample, there's the drowsy, and there's Rest sent to a coffin. The CFO will use this time to push in the mid lane though, take a tower of their own, can chase forward a little bit further. They do have a cannon minion here, acing the hole onto Dogtown. Now they retreat because KT are collapsing.
But you still have BDD pushing to that bottom side, so CFO, they're not able to get the tier 2. It would be BDD who's able to pick up that objective, but CFO
Flash from Junja, Impale doesn't connect, but the damage onto Cuz will stick. Meanwhile on the backline, Doggo has to retreat. Kaiwing doing the same, Perfect still just standing as a meat wall in front of CFO. Junja's gonna fall first, BDD gets Honkyu, and now KT can smell their victory.
BDD arrives and CFO dies. The Baron is next on the table here.
And on this composition that feels like it is unique to KT, this Zoe and Ziggs, they're hoping they can burst it down. They should be able to do so, as Rest was there. But KT, this is beautiful. And
the potential last stand here of CFO. Can Junja come up with another hero steal?
Rest is in the top lane, pushing in for that tier 2, does have the teleport and will use it. The Drake down to 9,000, BDD looking to see if he can find a sleepy trouble bubble. Lands it onto Rest, he can't join the fight. Tempered Fate on the backline, Paddle Star just short. Dragon down to 4K as KT look for the soul and knock back onto Junja. And again, it's Peter who keeps the enemy jungler at bay. Rest dives in, but the rest of his team are distracted by the cow. Now the chase in with an unstoppable onslaught. And if that's not a name for how KT have played this series, I don't know what is. Unstoppable from KT as they march down CFO and look for the semis.
no one expected KC to be one of the teams that could push themselves forward, but at semi-finals in their eyes, their curses may be damned in this position.
For the first time ever, KT looked ahead to the World Semifinals.
And with only Kaiwing left to watch, CFO will be eliminated. A valiant stand from them. A valiant stand for the LCP, but today is KT's day. Kaiwing can do nothing but watch as KT take the Nexus towers. The Nexus next, the KT coaster keeps on climbing. For the first time in history, KT are going to semis.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.